Hello and welcome. Today we'll be doing 10 hours of hard mode Zuck. I've already done 10 hours of normal mode, so give that a watch before this one, as I will not be going over some of the information that I kind of covered in the first one. Plus, it's just a good video. Hard mode Zuck is what it sounds like, a much harder version of the TzKal-Zuk fights from normal mode. This will be a lot of learning from me during the 10 hours, as I haven't touched hard mode at all, and going into this with my only experience being the 10 hours from normal mode and reading and watching content around it, which gave me some insight of the fight, but yeah, it will definitely be an uphill battle, I imagine, and I will be dying a lot, but I'll get her done. So let's talk about the main differences between normal mode and hard mode. So what makes it harder is several different things, but let's just go through them one by one. So everything has double the health that normal mode has. Everything except for the monsters during the pizza phase of the Zuck fight. But aside from that, everything else is doubled. You have double health on all the monsters that spawn every single wave, double the health of Zuck, and double health on Zuck during the phasing, so you have to do 100k opposed to 50k, and double health on the challenges. They all have the exact same stats, so they do and hit the exact same that they did from normal mode. They're just way tankier. Aside from that, also checkpoints are just essentially removed. So if you die before Zuck, GG, start over. You got a refund. But yeah, if you die anytime before Zuck, you have to restart from wave 1. If you do get to Zuck, then that's essentially the first checkpoint where you can just fight Zuck over and over again until you get it. The wave before the challenge wave is also different. Essentially, you have one of each of the combat styles that you kind of saw previously in normal mode. And there's just a bunch of other mobs that also spawn, so you have to solve these ways differently than how you did in normal mode. But once you solve it once, you're kind of good to go, because it's just copy and paste from that point on every single other time you have to deal with this wave. And some other changes that are included are the Hurricane fight is also a little bit different. He now casts extra abilities that will drain your adrenaline, which he kind of did before, but there's more of them. When he's also submerged, he'll spawn these like warding tentacles, which will reduce the damage you do to Hurricane when he is available to be attacked, so you just need to kill them before he spawns. And then the Zuck fight is also a bit different, so he'll do his special and extra auto early, which changes rotation a bit compared to normal mode. And his last 100k, he jumps onto his throne or near his throne, and you have to run around like an idiot while doing damage to a conduit of full, dodging these fireballs that will target your location. If you get hit by them, they hurt. They will kill you fast if you just sit in one spot. But hence for running around like an idiot, because they just hurt. Every time you drop the conduit's health to 0, it does a 20k damage to Zuck, and you will also get hit for 15k typeless hit, which can be handled in several different ways. My personal preference is Resonance is the easiest by far. Just make sure you wait a little bit not to get sniped by a fireball, followed by Disruption Shield if you have it, and then Reflect, and Power Burst of Vitality. Both Reflect and Power Burst Vitality at different times with like full health bar. Essentially just rely on your cooldowns a little bit. Last but not least is this giant rain of fire that will have your ass visiting Death's office faster than you can say,
"Holy Jesus! What is that? What the fuck is that?"
Essentially, this thing will just kill you in seconds, but it doesn't happen non-stop. It's about every 50 seconds or so, and all you have to do is move out of the way. But what this causes you to do is move maybe out of a safe spot, because if you don't move, you'll just die. So I think that's the hardest thing about hard mode, is that, because you just take extra damage one way or another. So with that being said, why would anyone do hard mode over normal mode? So, main reason is hard mode is just a hell of a lot more money. So, you get a huge buff and drop rates for abilities and the book, and you also get tier 95 weapon pieces for the two-handed Zuck sword, which is what everyone else calls it, which goes for a pretty penny. Each hard mode kill is worth about 4 times the amount of normal mode due to the increased drop rates and the weapon piece. Also, if you do a flawless Zuk run, you get the ability to combine all of your capes that you got from normal mode Zuk into an Igneous TzKal-Zuk cape, which combines all the effects into one. The cape's not significantly better than the standalone capes, but it's a nice to have, and it does look cool. So that's my main reason, is I just kind of want an all-in-one cape, so that's what I'm going for. Before we get farther in the video, I wanted to iron out some of my goals that I wanted to do over the 10 hours. Some of these might be hopeful, as I have no idea what to expect, but let's get started. So my first goal is to run a flawless run on all of my accounts, unlocking the best in slot cape. My main I'm not too worried about. My ult I'm pretty worried about. My ults are kind of limited in unlocks. They have good gear-ish, but no tier 99 prayer, no chroming, no greater chain, no disruption shield, plenty of other things that my main has but my ults will not have. I also want to get a sub 30-minute kill and pretty much 2 kills in a single hour. I think that's attainable for sure. And then I want to, if I have time, get a full kill with pretty low gear. This is kind of a stretch goal, but mainly want to see if I can get a kill with my ults with few unlocks, like no greater chain, and then downgrade my gear from there. And then I also want to try and one cycle Hurricane. This requires about 300k damage in roughly 50 seconds, which might be a huge stretch, but it's nice to have extra goals and make money. I want to make sure, hopefully I get at least one drop, as the 10 hours of normal mode I got zilch. Alright, hopefully that wasn't too much information, and let's get into the 10 hours. And if you hit like and subscribe, I'll show you the cutest animal you've ever seen in your entire life. Did you do it? Click it. Her name's Katie. Starting off, I did a lot of preparation on my main going into the 10 hours, probably way too much. I made a bunch of extreme prayer potions to add to my blessed flasks, and also made some combat dummies through invention. You can kind of see me going over my gear in the video right now. This is a pretty good starting point of what my main had. My main has everything unlocked, so going into it, I just wanted to get my account done sooner than later, because I knew my ults are going to be the hard part. So I've got a chroming switch, dummy, dual wield, blessed flask, overloads, the works, pretty perked out gear, obsidian helm, which is pretty OP. I will point out the thing that I definitely do change is my mammoth, like what's inside of it. I swapped to a Ripper Demon with some scrolls in it, and kind of like the layout of it in general switches quite a bit. So getting started, I very instantly essentially realized this was not going to go as planned for the 10 hours, and I was going to struggle. So the first run, I died twice to fire. The first one was a sign, and the second one was an actual death. And I also had my helm vanish during the very first run, within the first 5 minutes. I did not know it degraded to dust, and that it was that close to actually degrading. So that really sucked. And then I also realized I had to do a detour, because I did not have any shards in the bank, or bars, so I had to go make another one from scratch before I proceeded with the rest of the hours. So after I returned with my newly found helmet, I also made another dumb mistake. I accidentally teleported when I was going to use freedom, and yeah, then I had to restart, and I wanted to throw my computer out the window at this point, because I was super tilted. But finally, after 2 hours nearly, I finally got my first cape, and here's my live reaction.
After thousands of years.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. God. I was so stressful, Jesus Christ. Oh my god, that's so stressful. Please excuse me, take me to complete a hard mode flawless run by defeating Zuk in a single time. Oh my god, dude, this was like shaky for me. I think I'm gonna call it a night. Jesus Christ, that was. Oh, I got my first KC at least, so that's good. But man, that was rough. I just realized I had no food left at the end of that. I fucked up so much on Zuck. But it's done. I only had Bruce left, holy. So glad I took a yak or a mammoth, but oh god. With my main being done comes the real challenge. Flawless runs on my ult. My main worry about my ults is the first challenge, due to me not having chroming and no greater chain. So, here's a compilation of how that went.
You have failed, reborn in flame. You have failed, as expected. 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 Fight, worm!
So, yeah, that did not go so well. During those attempts, I did upgrade gear and switch to some power gear for Challenge 1, but I still had no luck. I honestly believe it is possible, it's just not consistent whatsoever. Here's a clip with me still having hope at around 3 fails. Alright, so I kind of got frustrated enough. I did make some upgrades on my gear, which I'll show, but this doesn't work. I got some buy offers for a greater chain, but I really want to see if I can do it without greater chain. But yeah, you know how that went, so... Well, I gave up on trying to do it without greater chain, so now I have 3 for all my accounts. Honestly, this isn't that big a deal for me, because this is kind of an upgrade I kind of wanted to get on the accounts anyways, so just more reason to it. It just kind of sucks that I couldn't get it without upgrading. I was really looking forward to that challenge, but man, I got super frustrated with it. It also helped that I did get a Dark Onyx core while making this, which helped liquidate my bank a little bit more, so I could actually afford 3 greater chains, which is not cheap by any means. Now, because I don't have chroming on the accounts, this makes it easier for sure, but does not make it super easy like it would with my main. With that upgrade, my first attempt back, I made it all the way to Zuck, and then died, because I'm bad. And then proceeded to die 5 more times. Honestly, I feel a lot of this is probably just me being bad, tilted, or tired, but eventually I did get it. Next was the next alt in the list, which did go a lot smoother, but I did goof on the last challenge and phase Zuck too fast before 100% adrenaline, and then proceeded not to drink an adrenaline potion till it was too late, and failed right at the end because I didn't have barricade. I still did just finish that run, killed Zuck, but I did have to run it all over again, had one more fail after, where it died the same tick the challenge ended, but I did get the cape the very next run. I actually thought I got the pet as well, but ended up being the Rune score pet. Kinda troll, wasn't the actual Zuck cape, but a pet nonetheless. And for the last ult, I had some fails as well, but not too bad. First fail, I forgot to switch out my special attack weapon in my AOF at a Dragon Halbert. And the second and third fail was due to me sunshining too early and then not carrying into the challenge. But eventually, I got the flawless run with 1 hour and 35 minutes left in the timer, finishing my first goal of getting the cape unlocked on all accounts. It took a lot longer than what I originally expected, to say the least. But as I said, I got her done, and man, did I get good at wave 1 to 5. Then it became time to head back to my main. First run back on my main went well, but didn't one cycle Hurricane, got it to about 100k or less, and got a 32-minute kill and no drop. That's still my fastest kill by far that I've gotten up to this point, and it gave me hope that a 30-minute kill is definitely possible. Next run, I did die at wave 14 with less than 40 minutes to spare, so I had to quickly run back to try and finish last kill, hoping for a drop, and this is how that went.
Finally, after thousands of years.
And with 3 minutes left, I get a drop. Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm done. Honestly, I didn't understand exactly what happened. I just saw I got a single drop, and I actually thought I got the pet. It took me a little bit to realize that I actually got double drops, which is pretty rare, and at only 3 KC on my main, my log is looking pretty spooned. So with that being done, let's see how much I actually made in the 10 hours. So in the 10 hours, I only killed Zuck a total of 10 times. Did that idiot really just say 10 times? I only killed it 7 times. Math is hard. Which is below average for sure, but it's also just part of learning. I spent like 6 to 7 hours of my time on my ults and 3 to 4 hours on my main. Spent a good 2 hours just trying to get a kill without G-Chain, which definitely slowed me down before I gave up. The loot from this is pretty good, but you really do need a drop to get the big money. After selling everything and looting the troves, I made a total of 1,233,750k, which is pretty good chunk of change. Subtracting about 51 mil in supplies, that puts us right at 1,183 mil in 10 hours, or 118.3 mil an hour, which would be right up there between Zamrock methods and way above normal mode on the Tiger Fang money-making website. Honestly, if I didn't get the double drop at the end, this would have fallen below the normal mode, but that's just how it is sometimes. My goals didn't quite work out how I was hoping, but it is what it is. I'll have to revisit this content again in the future. I do have 2 quick tips that I would like to share with you, and with that, I will also be linking all the resources I personally used during the 10 hours in the comments below. These resources being things that just helped me learn what the hell I was doing. So tip 1 is just AoE and group. If you have G-Chain, AoE is huge, so you have to time your greater chain with Omni to get the most out of your resources. And the second is you can actually use Reprisal and Vitality Potion on the last part of the Zuck fight for a free 10k hit on the pillar. Those are just 2 small things that I think are nice. One being the G-Chain, which is super important. The other one's just a very niche thing that I don't know a lot of people know. To those of you that have made it this far, leave a comment down below, and I will be picking one person to give a bond to August 1st. And thanks for watching. If you have any feedback whatsoever, leave it in the comment section below. And I have plenty of videos planned, so make sure to subscribe. Till next time, bye.